friends, my name is Sean. I'm in the math department here at COCC, and if you're watching this video, you are in my online Math 98 course for winter term 2025. Welcome! It's good to have you. Math 98 is a course near and dear to my heart because I invented it from the ground up. We'll probably talk about that as we go through the course together. But it's a great one for me because it was born out of a need. For those of you going to Math 105, which is probably all of you, I would imagine. I don't think anybody stops at Math 98. But it was built as a bridge course between the course that came before Math 105 and Math 105. So it's near and dear to my heart. I love this course very, very much. And I hope some of that love comes through in the stuff I've built for you in the course. Really, this was just to say hi, and I want to get into Canvas now and have you kind of poke around if you want to poke around. And look at how the course is structured. Because it's an online course, we're not going to have class meetings, so to speak, which means it's a pretty self-paced course. There are going to be due dates on things. We'll talk about that here in the Canvas walkthrough. But you know what? Let's just get into it. Let's take a look at Canvas. Okay, friends, so now we're in Canvas. Right now, I only have the first 2 weeks turned on. I didn't want to overwhelm you by turning on the entire course at once. I will turn the rest of the course on soon. I know some students like to work ahead, which is awesome. But these first couple weeks, I just want to kind of make sure we're not looking at too much and getting kind of overwhelmed with what's in front of us. Okay, so week one, you're watching this video right now, which means you probably don't need to use the link that will be here eventually. Man, that's kind of meta. Kind of some Back to the Future stuff right there. Week one. Okay, so I want to talk about actually two separate things. One standalone thing, this Canvas scavenger hunt. I want to talk about that first. Then I'm going to kind of walk through the rest of the course because the Canvas scavenger hunt is kind of a unique thing. It serves two purposes. First of all, it has you poking around not just Canvas, but also the syllabus, which is linked right here. And it has you looking for information. It has you doing things like taking screen captures and making sure that you can create new documents and save things in a place on your computer where you can find them. And it serves that purpose. Pretty much since this is an online course, so much of it is digital. And I know you already took the online orientation, but I've learned that doing this Canvas scavenger hunt is also a good thing. But it serves a second purpose as well. You may have noticed this class is heavily waitlisted, and I tried very hard to get a second section of this course opened up to no avail. I fell on deaf ears, unfortunately. So I have to use the Canvas scavenger hunt to make sure that people that are actually registered in the course stay registered. Because if anybody doesn't get this thing turned in by the due date right there that you can see, January 8th, 2025, and the due time is 5 p.m., and this block of text that you're seeing right here will also be in the syllabus that you'll open up later. If you don't get these things turned in, if you're already registered in the course, I have to drop you. If you're waitlisted and you turn this in and there's room, I can then add you. So this is a very important document. Let's just click over to it and take a look at it. So here is what the submission page looks like. And not just for the Canvas scavenger hunt, but for every single assignment you'll do in here. And they're all gonna, I'm not a huge fan. I think this is a very, very busy looking page, in my humble opinion. I think it's very, very busy. But this is the way Canvas looks. So they're all gonna kind of look the same. You're always gonna see this block of text. Start by opening this PDF. Pretty much everything I have in this course is PDF driven. Then it says, then answer questions in a separate document. So most of my students just open up a Word doc and start typing answers into that. We'll come back to that in a second. Once you're done, submit your Word doc via the link below. You can drag your file right to this little rocket ship. And then it says, remember, only include your answers, but please number them so I can kind of follow your train of thought. Okay, so let's just get in here and take a look at this PDF. Okay, so here is the Canvas scavenger hunt opening up in Canvas. Now, I don't know. Personally, I like to open these documents outside of Canvas, so I tend to download them and then open them in a web browser. Maybe it's a function of my age. I don't know. So here is the Canvas scavenger hunt, and we can zoom in on it a little bit so you can see it. One thing that students notice in my class is I make you read. I do. I make you read. You'll get to be a very good reader in this class. And I'm going to encourage you over and over again, make sure to read everything in these documents. For example, right here, it says to record your answers, start up a Word document and save your work frequently to a location. Please do not copy the questions over just your answers. Now, you may have remembered reading this before. It's the same thing I had back in Canvas. I'm a firm believer in saying things more than one time. Okay, it says, for starters, click on the syllabus link in week 1's module. I'm not going to do the entire scavenger hunt with you, but I will click back to week 1's module, and we'll open up that syllabus link. It's right there. And this is going to open, I believe, also as a PDF. Opens in this page right here. Okay, this one I'm just going to leave right here. There's that block of text I told you about before. Please notice one thing. I noticed that in the modules, when it gives you due dates, it just gives you the date, not the time. And this is important in this class. So the Canvas scavenger hunt is due no later than 5 p.m. on Wednesday, January 8th. So just keep that in mind. Okay, back to the scavenger hunt proper. It says, find my email. This is the best way of getting in touch with me. Copy and paste that email as your answer here. So you're going to go back here, find my email. Aha, there it is right there. I'm going to copy and paste that from Canvas. If I can figure out how to do it. There we go. Copy. And I'm going to open up a Word doc. Number 1, I'm going to paste that email address. Boom, there it is. Now you're done number 1. That's 1 point towards your 15. Then you're going to go back to the Canvas scavenger hunt and do number 2. What's the meeting ID and passcode for the Zoom office hours? Note, one of them is case sensitive. And I'm going to stop now because I want you to actually do this assignment. But you're going to go back and you're going to find the Zoom meeting ID and the passcode. Hopefully you can see it. In case you can't, well, I'm not going to tell you. Maybe I will. And you're going to continue this way throughout the Canvas scavenger hunt. Sometimes it tells you to go to my COCC webpage. Okay? Just 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 questions. 15 questions. And all of them worth 1 point. That's why the Canvas scavenger hunt is worth 15 points. So by the time you're done, you're going to have a Word document that's got 15 things in it. This one, all the way down. And unlike me, maybe try to spell things correctly. And when you're done, like I said, 15 questions answered. You're going to save this somewhere. And after you've saved it somewhere, you are going to upload it to the area of the Canvas scavenger hunt with the little rocket ship. You're going to drag it right there. And I'm not exactly sure what it looks like on a student side when that happens. I think it gives you some kind of a celebration, like, yay, you did it, or something along those lines. So the important thing really about that Canvas scavenger hunt is you got to make sure that thing is done, completed, and uploaded no later than 5 p.m. January 8th, 2025. That's whether you're already enrolled in the course or whether you're waitlisted. And like I said, that bright yellow text that I had up earlier explains why both of those points are important. Okay? I'm going to stop this part of the video right now, and then we're going to get into the non-Canvas scavenger hunt part of the course, which is the rest of the course. Okay, my friends, so we're back to the main modules in Canvas now. We've kind of talked to death the Canvas scavenger hunt. Just make sure you get it in no later than 5 p.m. January 2025. Okay, rest of the course. Well, so far it's just week 1 and 2, but it will be the rest of the course soon. I'm going to have the other 9 or so weeks turned on. So this course has stuff due every week. And I've kind of laid the course out so that it takes place over 2 days a week. When I do the class face-to-face with people, like this term I'm going to be in Madras teaching this course, we meet Monday and Wednesday. So I've tried to kind of mimic that in my online classes here with that divider line that you see in week 1 and also in week 2. I've kind of made that divider line be like, hey, do everything above the line on one day and do everything below the line on a different day, if you need to kind of schedule yourself. But the important thing is that each week's stuff is due on Friday of that week. And I know this is weird. I know if you've had online classes before, I bet you this feels weird because a lot of people let things be due like 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night or something like that. And that's fine. That's just not how I do it. I do things due each week Friday at 10 a.m. And I'm going to open up this first day homework, which is the last thing in that quote unquote first day of week 1. Notice it looks exactly like the Canvas scavenger hunt, and because all my documents are going to be the same. They're going to be a PDF that you open up, and then you're going to answer your questions in a Word document. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one with you and take a look at it. And this is a PDF document. I won't bother downloading this one. We can just look at it together. And again, reading. It's got reading involved. And it's also, as you may notice, has an embedded video involved. Now I want you to read. Let me just see something real quick. Sometimes these links don't work. See, this is why I taught myself how to download, because that thing is not loading. That's annoying to me. So I will download it. I will download this document, and then I will, there's the same exact document. I feel silly having to download it, because now the link will work. When you click on that link, it takes you out to Sean. Look at here. Sean from about a year ago recording a video. I'm not going to talk too much about that video because I want you to watch it later. And remember, you're going to read all this first. You're going to read all this stuff first before jumping in. And I give you an example in that video. And then I give you another example in writing right here. And eventually you get down to here and I explain what I want you to do, and then down here, you're going to see what you have to do and turn in as your homework. You're not going to print this document out. I mean, I guess you can if you want to, but I don't want that document back. All I want for your answers in this homework and any other homework and any lab and any exam are the things that I've asked you to do in these numbered questions down here. And you can see the instructions right above. Now you try a few, and each of the next 3, I'll give you a Taco Bell bill. And this won't make any sense until you read all this stuff up top. And I say, and remember, a W in parentheses, which all 3 of these have, means to show the calculations you used to get your answer. And I said it's probably just a fraction. This will all make a lot more sense once you read all this stuff up here and watch that video that I do right there. Okay, so by the time you're done, you're going to have a Word document. Or you can do this on paper. Some students will do all this math on paper, take a picture of it, and submit that. That's fine too. You can do that. Most of my students use Word. And then that will be submitted to the little rocket ship, which I skipped right over. I apologize. It's right there. The rocket ship for the first day homework. And that's it. Now that homework, you might feel a little bit weird because we hadn't learned anything yet. And the point, there's a reason for that. It's because this whole first week's topics are percentages. That's all they are. And percentages are something you know coming into this course. We don't start learning new stuff until the next week, week 2. Now, we're also going to talk about day 2 of week 1. We'll get into week 2 here in a second. Day 2 of week 1 has 2 assignments, lab 1 and homework, homework 2. Lab 1 is called Olive Ridley Sea Turtle Survival. We'll take a look at this. And notice it's called a lab and not a homework. It's a little bit longer. It's got more reading and it's got more questions involved. And Canvas is having a hard time opening it. Let's just give it a second here. There we go. So there is Lab 1 Sea Turtle Survival. Notice it also has links involved. It's got links. It's got a Google Sheet that you're going to have to open up. It's also got a video that explains Google Sheets. I know some of you have never used Google Sheets before, and that's okay. But you're going to use Google Sheets in this class. Also, make sure that you have a Google account, because it will ask you to log in, which is annoying, but it's what it asks you to do. I'm just going to try something real quick. Did these videos launch? That one didn't launch. Does the Google Sheet link launch? No, these things are not loading. So weird. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and download it. I'm sorry. I don't know why they're not loading, but here we go. So you got a video. There's an introduction video about the Olive Ridley Sea. There's the link for the Google Sheet. It should open like this. Would you like to make a copy? Yes, I'd like to make a copy. And it'll pop open, and you'll see what it's going to look like right here. It's going to look like that. The video linked next in the lab explains that sheet. Once I get back into the PDF, man, Canvas is kind of wonky. I apologize. I didn't realize how much of a pain in the butt it is. Anyway. And then you're going to, once you watch the video, do these things in order. Don't try to jump right down to number 1. You might be able to understand it, but the videos and things explain as you go. And there's videos embedded. There's a video there. There's a video there. There's a little link there. There's all kinds of stuff embedded in these documents. So make sure that you're checking out the embedded stuff as you're going in line. Okay? Lab number 1, you'll notice it's a little bit longer than a homework, and it's worth more points. It's worth 25 points. So that's lab number 1. And then there's a homework that goes along with it, which is also related to turtles, just a different level of data analysis with the turtles. All right. And you notice this one has its own spreadsheet as well. There's no videos because I explained this one to you kind of in line. Hopefully it all makes sense. If it doesn't, you can always send me an email. You can also drop in the Zoom office hour I have on Wednesday evenings this term between 5 and 7, and I can help you with anything at all in the course. But you're going to answer these questions 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a Word document, and then you will upload them to the area for the turtle survival follow-up. And that's all the week 1 stuff. Some of you might be able to bust out the entire week 1 stuff in one sitting, maybe. But I've given you the entire week to work through it. Okay, so week 1 is primarily review. It's all about percentages, and you're getting into Google Sheets and learning about Google Sheets. Now, week 2 is where we start learning new stuff in the course, like why did Sean create Math 98? Well, Sean created Math 98 because there were some topics that students were having a hard time with when they got to Math 105. And the first topic that I noticed people were having a hard time with was unit fractions. So what you're going to see as you go through the course are these things called notes. So we take a look at these notes documents. Now the notes document is not an assignment. You're not going to turn these things in. It's basically, if you want to think of it, it's the chapter of a textbook is what it really is. It's what you would have if you had a textbook in front of you and you were learning a new topic in a math course. You're looking at it right here. I don't make you buy a textbook because math textbooks are a racket. So I wrote one for you, basically. And this is chapter 1. And again, like anything else you're going to read, and what we have as you read down is just me explaining things to you, explaining what a unit fraction is and things like this. And then you're going to see things like, you try one, you try another. And you're going to answer these questions. I didn't leave you a space here because I don't want you printing this off. B, you're not turning this in. These aren't worth points. So I would say try this on a piece of scrap paper. And then it says, let's check in now before going any further. If I click on that,
Okay, my friends,
you see me, and I'm going to actually be working through those questions with you. It looks like I'm on a chalkboard this time. So you've got Sean on a chalkboard working math with you. Okay? When you're happy you can get those questions right there, you're going to keep going. You're going to keep going. You're going to keep reading. I've got videos embedded in here that now these are opening up just fine. Why weren't they opening before? I don't know. And you're going to keep reading, and then let's check in now. After you try this, let's check in now. Let's check in. Sean's working the video again for you here. Keep going. Now, in line, right about here, you'll notice it says you can try the bagel homework now. So you're not done the notes yet, but at this point, you can now back up to the modules, and you'll see there's a bagel homework right here. You can now get into this bagel homework and answer it. So you can open up a Word document and answer the questions in this bagel homework. And here it is. Again, like everything else, it's got some reading. It's got some reading. Okay. Now, you don't have to stop at that point and do that bagel homework. I just like breaking up the notes into sections. So at that point, you can do the bagel homework. After you do the bagel homework, if you've done it, you're going to keep reading and do more. And I've got more check-in videos that you can check the math as you go through it. That's some of my favorite Math 98 students from a few years back using Math 98 in the real world. I love that. Here's some more questions I have you trying rather than having a video on that. I think, I just give you the answers on those down here. And then a few more, one more check-in video. And then it says, now you're ready for the population density lab and homework. So you can shut down the notes, go back, and you'll notice that you've got a population density lab and homework. And you can get into each of those, and they'll have embedded Google Sheets, they'll have embedded videos, answer those, and get those submitted into Canvas. Now please notice, I want to repeat this over and over again. Week 2 stuff is due the Friday of week 2. Please notice the time. Week 1 stuff was also due the Friday of week 1. Please notice the time on all of these. The time that these things are due is 10 a.m. on those Fridays. 10 a.m. on those Fridays. Everything except the Canvas scavenger hunt is due 10 a.m. the Friday they're posted. You may ask why I do that. You'll read about it in the syllabus. There's a very important reason why I do that, but it might take you some getting used to. So set yourself an alarm, set a reminder, do whatever it takes to make sure that you remember these things are due 10 a.m. on the Fridays of the weeks they're posted. So week 1, Friday, January 10th at 10 a.m. Week 2, Friday, January 17th at 10 a.m. Week 3, once I open it up, Friday, January, what would that be? 24th at 10 a.m. and so forth and so on and so forth. Everything's like that. Exams are like that. All labs are like that. Homeworks are like that. Okay? And that, I think, my friends, is enough to get you started into the course. If you have any questions, of course, you can always shoot me an email, and I will get right back to you as soon as I can. Be well, and go get them.